going back to the last episode, that there was a part where Lamar that, hey man, you can't take another man's gators, man. That's a violation.
Right.
Was that into the script or was that something else in there?
No, that was in the script. Like, because a lot of people that know of this story know the culture of Detroit and know how important and how serious that was. I didn't understand. Like, to me, a pair of shoes is a pair of shoes. But
right.
But what made me think about how important it was, I thought about Biggie Smalls' line. What did he say? My Detroit players, pink gators.
Yep, my Detroit players, think pink gators.
Yeah, and so for Biggie to acknowledge that and to know how important it is to establish that's what Detroit is about, I was like, there had to be more significance to it from my side of saying just shoes than gators. You can take anything else, but don't take the gators.
Right, exactly, yeah. Exactly. A dead man, like, that's a violation. I was like,
that's
man,
a violation. You can lose your life. You can lose your life.
Right. Exactly. Now we go to the episode that's coming out. I was able to preview it, and that's coming out this Friday. And of course, look, you got Lamar in there. He walking through the hospital in the Gators, and you snuck him in. And there's a part where that Terry is sneaking Meech out, and he says, "There's not going to be another Maserati rig happen up in here." And I was just wondering, was you familiar with that story? Because that was another just a well put nugget in Detroit gangster history.
Man, why you are king of spoilers. Why don't we just say spoiler alert, son?
Well, no, I'm not gonna write about it or put this out to after it airs.
Right. No, I mean, I don't know what that relationship was, what I'm saying? And that's what's so interesting about this series, and it's like some people, you got people that know the authenticity of it. And then you got some people that just know the story that the producers and writer are presenting to them, which is kind of difficult when that's what they say, some of these events, because you got people like, nah, that's not what happened. We was down the street.
Right.
But,
right.
they take it too personal. But this show is a great story. The storyline is amazing. And it's like, it's built off of a period in time that so many people remember. You know what I mean? So many people remember that era. And for me, I was just getting a little backstory. I was watching some of the documentary that they did, right? And then I realized that, one of the shows that everybody in BMF, they loved, and a lot of people in Detroit, was HBO's The Wire. You know what I'm saying? They lived by that, right? And like, and like when BMF was at their heights, I think I was in the military at the time, but I realized how connected I was to the BMF story and the history of that era, because I was on The Wire. And if all of those cats used to religiously watch The Wire, they didn't really watch it like they should have, because they wouldn't have been on the phone so much, right? Somebody, I'm like,
right,
yo, get off the phone. We just saw y'all didn't watch the last episode.
Right, exactly.
Y'all didn't watch the last episode. Throw the phones out the window, right?
Exactly.
So I knew that may be a part of that culture, but being a part of this whole project and like and the truth of it, the fiction part, the nonfiction part, this is a great story because it's bringing back a lot of memories. And for some reason, man, people love a great hood story. People love a rags to riches story, right? But this is another part of the rags to riches story. And I know when people get these bids in this time, whatever, and you look at, all we do is we glorify the money, the parties, and all that type of shit, right? But what we don't focus on is the destruction that comes with it. You buying keys and keys, somebody is cooking that up. Somebody is smoking it. Somebody has lost his daughter. Somebody has lost a sister. Somebody has lost so much because of that. Wow. There's people out there still enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? And that's the part, that, I mean, that's just some real stuff. That's the thing that we need to consider. And I love the fact that the story that's playing out now with Meech, with the relationship he has with his son, with the relationship he has with 50 Cent, giving a person the opportunity to live that same lifestyle that you dreamed about without the consequences of being behind bars. And that should be a part of the story. As this goes into season 3, I don't know what the shift is going to be, but I would love to see more of that, more part of that story.
Got you. Now, a little bit about your character. You know, your character's interesting because in a lot of ways you're the only one that can talk shit to you, Lamar, your cousin. And at times you look like you're afraid of him. At times you're like, I don't give a fuck with this nigga.
Right.
You kind of stay in the eye space with him, man.
And the reason why, because like this, the only thing now, you got to kill her, right? You got to kill her to kill anything. But for some reason, you know, and this is probably true to life with Meech and his brother. They went head to head. You know what I'm saying? They went blow to blow to a point like where they were popped off on each other, but at the same time, that's blood. I think that's the only thing that saves me in his relationship is that that's blood. But I can't tell you like moving forward, but you know, there's times that he don't give a hell about nobody, no blood, no nothing. And this, and another thing about this character is like this character, and you know, we might get into that, but he was creating a great lifestyle for himself and what he does. Can you imagine how much money you was making as a person that dealt with dead bodies in Detroit? Overtime.
Yeah. Yeah, 80s was rough.
You know,
and the 90s were rough.
And then like even the creation of this character, Randy Huggins, he was like, this was the devil, this was his baby. He was like, man, I had one of my, I don't know, his cousins or friends that he patted the cat this after. He was like, man, he was a flashy dude, he was nice, but that was his work. You know what I mean? He wanted the same lifestyle as everybody else, but his thing was like, I don't want to go to jail doing it, you know? And you know, even with this last year, I was involved in one episode, which I thought was going to be it. But they fell in love with this character enough. They wrote me into 3 episodes, and then like every week, I was getting a call from my agent telling me, "Oh, they want to add you to another episode. They want to add you to another episode." And the crazy thing, I was so excited about it. You know, we live in a world with social media where like some of the things you do, you love to let people know, but I couldn't let people know that I was a part of it this year because they wanted the surprise of nobody knew if Lamar was going to come back. It was to the point where they invited me to the premiere party, but they didn't want me to walk the red carpet.
Oh, wow, they kept it a big secret.
Yeah, I was like, well, if I ain't gonna be there, then I ain't gonna be there. Right? If I ain't gonna, you know, but it was.
Well, we're glad you're here on it because you know it's a serious, intense show. So you know you add an element to that even when it's serious shit, it's shit you can laugh at. Because like I said, the show stays tense.
Oh, yo, and I was saying to myself, I'm probably the only comic relief of the whole series. Now you got these guys telling you got these guys cracking their little jokes, but their jokes could like cost somebody their life. So it's not like a ha ha ha. It's like it's like, nah, I ain't laugh. You know, like that's like one of like you're funny. Funny how? What do I amuse you? What am I, a clown? What am I? What's so funny about me? Like that type. But I've been lucky enough, like somebody asked me, Donnell, if you had a career in TV, which I don't, what would you want to do, a sitcom? I said I would rather be on a dramatic series and be comic relief than to be funny all the time. Because I'd rather save the funny up to when I'm on stand-up. If people really want to see me be funny, like, you know, buy a ticket, come check me out on the road. But it's something to be said about that person that could be in one moment be serious, you riding with him, next moment, oh man, I can't believe he just said that. And you know, I don't, and even with this series, and same thing when I was on Chappelle's show, if you would edit how many times I spoke on Chappelle's show, it probably on a timeline, it'd probably be like 3 minutes. But what I was good at was being able to establish a little nuance in my character where you laughed off the top. You know, it's times where I even talk and still got the laughs. So for me, it was important for me in this role. I'm like, you got one scene, you're gonna be there for a minute and a half. How you gonna make your presence? Is it something you do with your eyes? Is it a certain noise? That first scene I did on season 1 in that dark room when they came in there looking for Lamar, when I knew it was a moment of silence, and I just snorted, like I laughed. I said, I was like, people, anybody that snorts when they laugh, you're gonna laugh at it. So I was like, oh, maybe that's a little moment that breaks the tension. But I always try to find something detailed that makes you laugh or really get connected with that character. And hopefully I did a good job with this season and moving forward. opportunity for this character to blow, it could be crazy. It's so much
Yeah.
that we don't address with the backstory of this guy, you know, because that's
Yeah.
a whole hustle in itself. That's a whole nother hustle.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Mr. Rawlings, I thank you for your time. I greatly appreciate it. And looking forward to seeing you on Starz for the rest of the season.
All right, and stay away from them dead men gators, bro.
All right, take care.
All right.